I don't know how fake feel, nigga. Cause all my life I've been a real nigga.
What's good with y'all? It's Face the Real. Y'all know what it is, and it may sound like it, but there's no malice in my intent. That's real. Before I begin, disclaimer. This is not a red pill, black pill, blue pill, purple pill, incel, alpha, MGTOW, or whatever else movement or ideology you can associate this video with in your mind or whatever they state. This is simply me, and I'm just done. I have dated a lot of women in my life and had 10 girlfriends in my life since I was a teen. I have never seen success in a relationship no matter what position I was in, financially, mentally, or physically. There was always a reason that the woman came up with to ditch me, and out of all those relationships, I only broke up with 3 exes. The thing that I have noticed is that when a woman is done, she is done. It can be signs leading up to this, or it can be completely out of the blue. In my personal experience, they usually ended up with someone else directly afterwards, leaving me alone in my own pain and suffering. Seeing this occur time and time again will make any man bitter and harbor a level of resentment that isn't healthy. So, to make sure that I did not carry that with me to the next person, I would just stay single. This is mainly due to the fact that I just don't want to hurt someone or waste their time, despite that being the only outcome that occurred for me. Sitting here thinking made me realize that when I really care for a woman, I am a simp. I'm not even saying directly out the gate on the first date or even the first month or two, but eventually, I look whoever I'm with as a partner in my life, so I feel no need to hold back how I feel, as well as expressing my genuine love and care for them. I am the type to pull up when you need me to help you with something, and won't complain the entire time unless I am mistreated. I am the type to ask you questions about your favorite food, flowers, TV shows, hobbies, or what you do to unwind, your dreams, and basically everything that correlates to the word favorite for you. I am also the type to literally take notes since I am forgetful, but I try my hardest to remember and take initiative to do so. I am also the type to only talk to one woman in the talking stage. This isn't because I can only get one woman at a time, but it's simply because I find entertaining one woman is super exhausting as it is, so adding another one will be overkill for me. I have done it before, and it was an exhausting experience. I would get off the phone with one woman, and the next one calling wanting to have a conversation or hang out. I would hang out with her, and then another woman would call and want to hang out the next day. So I really didn't get a lot of time to myself, which is why I don't prefer to do all that. If I'm with you and you are sick, I will try my hardest to help you the best I can and make you a priority. For example, me and my best friend could have made plans to do something in advance, and you are feeling healthy. However, on the day of the plans, you are sickly. I'm not talking about just a headache or stuffy nose. I'm talking about flu-like symptoms. You are vomiting, got chills, congested, a rising temperature, and the whole 9 yards, and might have to go to the emergency room or to the doctor. I will hit up my best friend and reschedule and stay home and make sure you're comfortable. My best friend will understand and won't get mad, and I will feel bad being out and about having a great time while you are very sick at home by yourself. I came up in a very loving environment. I tell those that I really love outside of my 3 male best friends, aka brothers, because that would be excessive to them, that I love them and give them a hug. I tell my mother, grandmother, and sister I love them on the daily, and I am always there for them with kindness. We were always the type that when we were leaving the house or even getting off the phone with each other, we will make sure you know that you are loved. So that's where I get that from, and I'm proud of myself for carrying myself like that. Another thing I love to do is when I'm with a long-term partner, I want to make sure their family is always welcome and respected, as well as their friends out the gate. Don't get me wrong, if they are rude to either myself or you, I am not too shy to check them, but that is usually the furthest from my mind unless pushed. If I see you are hanging with people or even my people and you are the butt of the joke, I would defend you. But now, it's different if we are all laughing and having fun and you are laughing too and there are no issues. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if someone keeps cracking jokes on you, you try to play it off for a while, and I look over and happen to notice that you are upset, then I would say something to defend you. Those kind of vibes. Of course, it goes without saying that I am comfortable paying for our dates as well as the activities that we do together, but I still expect you to step up from time to time so all the weight doesn't follow me. For example, I pay for the meal, just throw out the tip. We go out of town together, I got the room and transportation, you get the food, stuff like that. You're probably wondering why I gave up on dating and why this has never really worked out for me. You're probably also saying that I shouldn't call myself a simp and that the right one will come along and blah, 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 yak, 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 whatever. I gave up because this old school approach does not work on modern women. In fact, all it would end up being is you being used, her making up an excuse to ditch you when she's bored, and running off to the next dude. Doesn't matter the amount of time and effort you put in. It's deuces. I just cannot turn the simp switch off in me whenever I really care and eventually love a woman. That's how I always wanted to treat a woman, and it just never worked out. Now, I could be the complete opposite of that, which would be an inconsiderate asshole that shows kindness every once in a while to play with the woman's mind. But that isn't me. I would be living a complete lie, which goes against how I was raised, which was to always be myself. Talking to one woman will make the woman lose interest and think you are lame. They will assume nobody else wants you and will get turned off quickly. It never fails. Pulling up when a woman needs you will set you up to be used and taken advantage of, and then at the end of it all, she'll name all the things you didn't do or didn't get around to doing as of then, while completely overlooking the sacrifices you made for her while you were with her. It never fails. Telling a woman that you really care and love her before she even brings it up will make you look weak in her eyes, and she will lose interest. Hell, even if she did say it and you simply said it back, she would most likely lose interest since there is nothing more for her to chase. She has you. So that makes her bored and want to leave or look elsewhere. In some cases, sticking up for your woman can leave you in a bad spot. Say a family member is being rude to her, you say something that irritates the family member. Hell, it can be just her friend, work associate, whatever. There's a chance she will get offended at you for sticking up for her because she can handle her own self. It never fails. Paying for dates and activities all the time will lead the woman to think she doesn't have to do anything. So she won't. And when you bring it up, she will throw out, well, the man is supposed to, rhetoric, which can potentially lead to an argument or her plotting to leave right then and there. And don't get me started on social media. Posting obvious thirst traps online, liking every dude's comment that sends hard eyes your way, always having to post everything including your location, and even responding to DMs even if it's friendly. You know that the guy likes you, so why entertain it? And if you say anything about her pictures, she will just throw the insecure card out and dismiss how you feel entirely. In fact, if you have an issue with anything she does, you are automatically insecure. Don't feel comfortable about a guy friend because you can see he likes her, you're insecure. Don't feel comfortable with her going on the girls trip to Miami with all her single friends, you're insecure. Don't feel comfortable walking around with her in booty shorts and a crop top with all her titties hanging out, you're insecure. Don't feel comfortable that she's taking gifts from other men, you're insecure. It goes on and on and on and on. Also, the fact that 9 times out of 10, my experiences with women have ended questionably or just in horrible ways, I get gaslit automatically. Oh, you just picked the wrong one. It's the most common one I can think of. It's like, no shit, point me in the direction of the good ones then. And they can. It also does not help that women tend to be followers, meaning they care more about the opinions of other people than what they personally think. For example, if a friend or family member of hers does not like you for whatever reason, then eventually she won't like you either. The seed is always planted. Even if things don't end right there, it will eventually. It also does not help that every single thing that you do wrong, your woman has a high chance of running to social media for attention or confiding in her family or friends, whether they like you or not. You could do something small that irritated her, like go to the store but forgot to buy her tampons. Her friend or family member that don't like you will spin and say stuff like, girl, this is proof he don't care about you, cause how he forget the tampons when you ask for it directly? I wouldn't put up with it personally. You can do better, girl. They basically, you can do better, her to death until she decides to leave herself one day. Never fails. Another main reason is that once you hit your 30s, most women are single mothers. I have tried dating single mothers, but respectfully was more annoying than fulfilling. I was trying something different since I don't have kids of my own anyway. But looking back, since I don't have kids of my own, it's unfair for me to have my first kid technically not even be my kid. You feel me? So that knocks out like 80% of black women, which, you know, if we're being honest, I'm black, so I usually go for black women. But it just turned me off even further. I know people are probably like, well, that's cool and all, but what about the glorious innards of a woman? I gotta be YouTube friendly, y'all. Anyway, my answer would be, what about it? For one, I got way more glorious innards with no commitment that I ever did in a committed relationship. And for two, I honestly do not care for glorious innards that much anymore. Don't get me wrong, glorious innards are wonderful. Probably top 3 things Yahweh has ever created next to man and earth. It's just all through my 20s I was a wild boy. And I'm going to leave it at that. My people know exactly what I'm talking about since they have seen it directly for themselves, or the woman says something. I usually do not like to tell anyone who I mess with, but if my best friends ask me, I won't lie about it. They don't go around yelling what I did on the mountaintops. We all too grown for that. Something that I have noticed is that my deal breakers are always a problem either at the beginning of the talking stage or mid-relationship. For example, besides the obvious deal breakers like infidelity or being dishonest about serious or trivial matters repeatedly, I have 3 strong deal breakers. Number 1 would be smoking cigarettes, as I have always hated the smell of them ever since I was a kid. Number 2 will be guy friends. I don't see the point of having close friends of the opposite sex outside of business relationships, and that goes for myself as well. Number 3, girl trips are a no-go for me, since I believe you should be wanting to travel with me and not your single friends. There's been times I laid these deal breakers out in the talking stage and which was no harm, no foul. However, there has been times where the woman will start smoking cigarettes, make a guy friend, or tell me that they're going on a girl's trip, and when I bring up I have an issue with it, I am gaslit in full measure. The favorite accusation is being called controlling, which is irritating because as grown people we can do whatever we want to do, but at the same time should respect our partner's boundaries. It's just a headache to deal with, and a major reason why I'm turned off from relationships and talking to women to gain a relationship with them in the first place. My final reason before I wrap this up is because I never really got anything special from dating. When I say special, I mean heartfelt gifts that can't be replicated off of my interest for that time. For example, one ex bought me Skyrim the day it came out and even drove me to GameStop for it. Little things like that mean a lot to me. One ex bought me some Adidas shirts and a couple snapbacks with my stage name etched into them. It meant a lot to me because I made it known Adidas is my favorite clothing brand, so she went out and did that for me, which was dope. I had a woman last year buy me shoes and cologne out the gate. The shoes were for my birthday right after I met her, and the cologne was for that Valentine's Day. I just thought it was dope that she did that, but to be fair, the cologne was pretty much for her, for me to wear for her. Besides going out to eat and getting the check every once in a blue moon, that's about it. But to go out naming what I did would be working 72 hours because I thought I was getting married while waking up early for morning dates, becoming a taxi, letting a woman move in with me after her uncle kicked her out and letting her wear my clothes because she was broke, feeding you and your kids every time I spent the night at your house, and even buying the food that was cooked most of the time, never turning you away unless at work where you needed someone to really talk to about serious issues, helping you or your family move from one location to another location and then putting stuff together, cleaning apartments, taking care of dogs, actually babysitting kids. Man, if I sat here and named everything, this video would probably go to like a half hour, 40 minutes type shit. But I'm not even trying to brag, and I'm not even trying to make it seem like I'm perfect. It's just I did a lot across all my relationships and got spit in the face every time in the end. So, yeah, it is what it is. I almost forgot to mention that I dated and been in relationships with all different types of women on various walks of life, from a wealthy woman to an unemployed woman to religious women, to social outcasts, to gamer nerds, to single mothers, and the list goes on. I won't ever put my exes on blast, but if I would show y'all what all my exes look like, you wouldn't even know what my type is. So it's not like I was only choosing these women off of shallow lust, and some of them initiated contact first as well, so it's not like I was always making the first move. I have also noticed that women tend to make their happiness your responsibility, and society co-signs it. You are more likely to hear this sporadically throughout your life as a boy and as a man, from men and women, the infamous quote, happy wife, happy life, but hardly ever happy spouse, happy house. And this is problematic for me, since I do not want another person's happiness to be dependent on me. There has been numerous times in relationships where the woman would express she is bored or not happy for whatever reason, when there's really not much I can do. I never eased up on the things I did for them, but over time they implied it wasn't enough and they were either bored or unhappy for whatever reason. I had multiple women tell me to figure out the problem when I asked them, and they would get even more upset if I never did. It's stuff like that that turns me off from dating further, since you are responsible for your own happiness. If you have no hobbies, then do not make me your hobby. Do not make me a slave to your emotions, since if you cannot control them, then neither can I. It's just a lot that goes into dating, and a lot of people just do not take it serious and be playing. I also think that since I was always the common denominator in these situations, I have to take accountability for my actions and subtract myself from the equation. I no longer care to date or even have sex, which is wild to say. See beautiful women walk around and some of them smile at me. Others actually hold conversations with me and are really friendly. I enjoy these interactions a lot still, and I will always be kind to women in person, word to my mother, my grandmother, and my sister. So this is not a hateful video, and that's definitely not the message I'm pushing here. I'm just done with it, either forever or for a very long time. I just do not see the point in doing so anymore, as it feels like a massive time sink and a waste of money, sadly. You spend so much time with someone, you think you both are good, then it ends and you are left to pick up the pieces, while more than likely she is with somebody else or about to be with somebody else, while you still in shock and hurt. If you found somebody that cares about you and shows you love, whether you are married or not, I am happy for you. You deserve it just as much as the next person. I guess it just isn't in the cards for some people, unfortunately. But yeah, that's about all I have to say today. As a man or woman, are you still out here dating, or are you done like myself? Do you know a lot of people in this modern era that got together and stayed together for a very long time? Also, have you encountered similar things that I have in my dating experience? How do you feel about the overall dating landscape of today? Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, comment your thoughts down below, and share the video to your friends and family, please. Much love, everybody. Face signing out.